What's going on, family? This is Pastor Terrence Jones, and you're joining us live right now for the Single and Saved broadcast. I got two co-hosts on with me tonight. It's Quaylin. Hey, Quaylin.
Hi, Pastor Jones.
And I see Kia on tonight. Kia is with us tonight. I want you guys to take. Hey, Kia, how are you?
Hi, guys. Everybody.
Hey, guys, this is a conversation that has been brewing for a long time, and I want you guys to share. We're going to be talking about some of the challenges of being single and saved tonight. Take a moment right there and share this with someone, and join us right now for Saved and Single. Another thing, if you guys have questions, anything you want us to discuss tonight, we want to see you in the comments. We're monitoring the comments, looking for you tonight. As you guys are joining us, say hello to us, hit the like button, show us some hearts, some love in the comments, and we're looking forward to you. Hey, Quaylin, why don't you take a moment and just introduce yourself? Tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Quaylin. I am originally from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I've been residing here in Atlanta for a long time. I'm a Pittsburgh peach, is what I like to call myself. But yes, I'm a member of Pastor Church.
Okay.
Sorry, I had my phone. But yes, I've been living in Atlanta for around 15 years. And I am single and saved.
Amen. Awesome. Awesome. Hey, Kia, tell us a little bit about yourself. We're listening.
Well, my name is Kia. I am originally born and raised Kansas City, Missouri. I've been in Atlanta for 12 years. And I am a Christian hip-hop choreographer.
Nice.
I love the Lord. And I am single and saved.
Awesome. Very good. So, guys, somebody said there's an echo. Is there an echo on the live? I'm hearing that there is an echo. Let's see. You guys let us know in the comments if there is an echo. So let's jump in. Guys, is there still an echo? Can you guys still hear an echo? I think. Let's see here. Okay, well, we turned that down. Let us know if there's still an echo on there. There are some conversations that we want to have tonight. And I'm going to say this when the ladies were speaking. Okay, not anymore. Very good. I want to start out with a question that is, I think, very loaded. And that question is, what are some of the challenges? What are some of the challenges faced when you are singled and saved? What are some of those challenges?
Would you like to go here? I could go.
Anybody can go. Just go.
Okay. So one of the things that I feel is a challenge being single and saved is, and Pastor, I'm going to use some of your statistics that you said during your sermons. Statistically, in the church, the ratio to women and men. Mm-hmm. So I feel that is a challenge when you have the desire and you're single and saved, but you want to date a saved man.
Absolutely. So the lack of availability for those.
Yeah, the lack of availability.
Gotcha. Okay. Is that it? Is that one of the biggest challenges that you're noticing in the church world and being a Christian? And
yes.
Okay. Okay. So there is an echo when you guys speak. Let me do this. And there's also let's see. Let's mute you. Try now. Kia, tell me, what are some of the challenges? Let's try this.
I will say, can you hear me? Because I don't hear it echoing anymore. Can you hear me still?
Kia, tell me, what are some of the challenges?
Can you hear me? I will say, can you hear me? Because I don't hear it echoing anymore. Can you hear me still?
Kia, tell me, what are some of the challenges?
Can you hear me, Pastor?
Hang on one second, guys. I think I found the problem. Hang on.
Okay.
Excuse us one moment, guys, while we figure this out. Hang on. That's interesting. Excuse us one moment, guys, while we figure this out. Hang on. That's interesting. All right. Excuse us one moment, guys, while we figure this out. Okay, Kia.
Yes. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Excuse us. Okay, I can't. Now I can't hear you. So
I can hear her.
You
try
can
now,
hear me?
Kia. Are you unmuted?
Yes. Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Well,
Quay, you can hear me?
I can hear you, Kia.
Okay. And you're not echoing either. That's
Oh,
good
hang
too.
good.
on one second, guys.
Now Pastor just can't hear us.
Yeah.
Let me do this. Okay, Kia, I can hear you now. I'm just gonna use the audio.
Okay, you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, okay. One of the challenges I feel is will be one is patience. If I must be honest,
For sure.
um, um, patience definitely. You get to a point where you feel sometimes he's not out there. You know, even with the experience of dating, and you come across the wrong one. So I would say lack of patience. Like it's real.
Sure. You have challenges with just waiting. Waiting
Yes,
the thought that perhaps this guy, this man of God, or this saved individual doesn't exist.
exactly.
Okay. All right. One of the things that we talked about uh, yesterday in service was considering one's history before you seriously date a person. You want to consider their history. Now, we know the purpose of dating is to gather data. All right. It's
Right.
not to play house, it's to gather data so that you can further prepare yourself for marriage. So we date with intention. Um, what are some things? So, one of the things I mentioned to you guys yesterday is the importance of understanding that a person's pain always appeals to their past. So if a person has a history of doing whatever it is, smoking, drinking, cheating, bed hopping, club hopping, whatever it is, that when they go through a difficult or painful season in their life, they find themselves usually back in that, down that road. So that, whatever that thing may be. What are some things that you feel like could be a deal breaker for a person? Maybe something that in their past, in their history that they've done that could create a challenge for you realistically, as it relates to marriage and seriously considering that person.
I will say it's to me it's very important for a person to be healed and delivered before they even open up that door into someone else's life. It's important to be whole before you even consider. That way, you won't bring that person into your pain, into your past with you. We have to come to a point if you're trying to move forward into the future. You have to heal from your past, so that way you can be able to live, live for your future, than you know, versus the past.
Absolutely, I got you. So being healed, I got you.
Yes, yes.
Quayla?
Well, Kia stole my answer, but but I was going to say this. I was going to say being whole, because I actually had experience with dating a person who wasn't whole, and previous had a drinking problem that I wasn't aware of at first, and so
Did you
the
say a
first time
problem?
a drinking problem,
Okay.
Mhm.
and I was unaware of it, and so also just with like my lineage and what goes on with my family, it was like a trying time. My mother had passed away. It was just way too much. So
Mhm.
like all at the same time. So that's something that I know I can't deal with. Not if it's something that they're whole and that was in their past, that they're whole from, and that they're complete from, and that God has completely healed them. That's another thing. But for it to be something that's active, that they're actively dealing with, I wouldn't be able to deal with that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. I got you. So one of the things that I would recommend as we're speaking, when we talk about history, there are a number of things. One of the first things, I'm looking in the comments and somebody says deal breakers are tough because it's not the past, it's the present. Well, let me say this. Let me say this. So there are certain things that speaks to a person's their character, right? If it's something that they've done, like one of the first things I would encourage one to look for is just overall stability and consistency.
Mm-hmm.
If a person lacks consistency and stability in their life, it's going to be so easy for the enemy to devour them, to get them back into. So, like, one of the things we've been talking about is how that temptation is only temporary. And what you want to do is you want to get through the temptation long enough that that hold off on the temptation so that it'll go away, because it's going to eventually subside. But if a person, I think these are two things, I didn't think about this, but there are two things that don't go hand in hand. If you have an impulsive person and an unstable person, because if you take an unstable person whose their mind is always all over the place, if they, they feel some kind of way, they go back to drinking, they go back to dating, get back on the dating apps, they go, that's the answer to their problem. They are not healed within themselves. So they go looking for people and drugs and smoking and drinking or whatever it is that they choose to do, sex. And that's the answer to their problem. And so when you've got an unstable person with an impulsive person, see, if you got a patient person, you have feelings. Your feelings come up, feelings will come up and things will come up and you'll feel certain types of ways at times. But the difference is you wait it out and by the morning, you're not even feeling that way anymore. So, but then you have impulsive people who are just so unstable. And before you know it, it's like, hey, I think going to the club will be a good idea. And they actually do it. Like they actually stop and they do what the thought came to their head. And that's where damage starts to happen, because you've got a person who is unstable mentally, unstable emotionally, and you'll see them. They their life is like a roller coaster. It's up and it's down, and they make moves very impulsively. So I think that being consistent and stable is very important, because in marriage and dating, okay, you know how many people I've seen who were dating somebody, they got engaged and then they were no longer engaged. That's why I tell people I have a belief that you are single until you're married, right? Period. So until you're married, nobody should cut off their options. And when I say cut off your options, meaning some people have this thing what we call one-nighters. Do you all know what that means? One-nighters?
No.
Okay. Really?
No.
One-nighters is when a person get caught up just on one person. There's nothing serious. Even if, check this out. You're single until you're married. Even if you engage, you're still single, really. But you take it serious when you become engaged. But you know how many people I've seen get engaged, and they get engaged and then 2 months later, they're no longer engaged. And you think you can waste a lot of time with a person in your single life, and you can give up on many opportunities. We talked about missed opportunities, because you've got this one night is with this person who has not really committed to you. You say, this is it. I'm in love with this person and this is it. And, you got to get to a point where you like, hey, stop. Either we're going to be serious and we're going to go somewhere with this intentionally, or let's just stop playing games. What do you guys think about that?
I think it's great advice. I think, and I think it rings true. I wish I would have heard this before, but
I'm with you.
As far as focusing on all your energy, because it's true. But you are truly, single until you're married, and I think it is good to keep your options open. I think that's great advice.
Right.
I think that is great advice.
So, keeping your options open don't mean going sleep.
I know. It's not what I'm saying.
No, I know. I know you're not saying that.
You gotta be clear, concise.
In the church world, dating is not, in the world, you're like, okay, I'm dating somebody, that means you're sleeping with them. And you giving, you know what I'm saying? Y'all at each other's house all the time. That ain't what this is about. But dating somebody is gathering information. And so you don't stop. Now, some people, like I say, they have such an inconsistent life that they just make poor decisions in everything that they do. But the reason I was saying it's important to make sure that the first thing you look for is consistency is because say you get engaged, say you get married, problems are going to come up. Issues are going to come up. You already know that. If a person always resorts back to attention-seeking behavior, posting crazy pictures online, seeking validation and attention from other women or men, cussing somebody out, going out, getting drunk, don't you think that's going to cause a problem within the marriage or within the relationship? So that's the reason why the first thing you have to look for is stability. Another thing I would say, somebody put this in the comments for me. One of the first things would be stability and consistency. The other thing is honesty and integrity. I would say, now, everybody in church ain't saved. Kia, you were getting ready to say something. I'll get back to that point. Kia, go ahead.
No, I just kind of wanted to piggyback off of what you were saying as far as even with the engaged, because that was me before, but I'm aware now that some men are out here, they do that because they know that's what you want, and then when they do that, they just do that to shut you up, but don't have the intentions to literally going further with the marriage and, you know, becoming what they telling you. So I'm just saying, you know, just to piggyback, there are men out here that will just do what you want them to do just to shut you up. And so
like people go that far.
They go that far.
Wow.
They go that far. Most definitely.
So let me ask you this. If a man does that, or okay, because the man is more than likely the one who's doing that.
Mm-hmm.
If a man does that, what's his out? Like, okay, you done gave this woman a ring. You told her you gonna marry her. Like, how do you get out of that at this point? What do you just make up an excuse?
Excuse. That's what I was just about to say. Excuse. Excuses after excuses, and it's just to the point where you no longer take the excuses, and then you just move forward. That's what it ends up.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you guys have put this in the comments. You put the first thing is consistency and stability. The second thing is honesty and integrity. I would say you cannot build outside of honesty and integrity. Like I give a person, especially in the beginning, I want everybody listening to hit the like button. Say in the comments, just put, you know, you could engage with us in the comments, but definitely hit the like button. Give us some hearts. Let us see you right over there in the comments, guys. Honesty and integrity. Like I give a person, I'm gonna give you an example. If you've been dating somebody for say 6 months, just dating them, nothing serious, and they lie to you, what is your next course of action?
It's gonna make me question a lot of things. I will start to think that everything, what else is a lie. Mm-hmm. It just opens a door for something else that, I'm just saying it makes me more curious. What else have you been lying about?
Sure.
So it definitely opens up a door that doesn't need to be open.
Sure. Do you think that the nature of the lie matters, like depending on what they lied about, maybe?
It depends. I will say that it depends on the lie, because I get that everyone is not perfect. I believe in giving grace to people, but it just depends on what the lie is.
Okay.
If it's the extreme, then I probably just leave. Just depends.
Quayla?
I would agree. I think the nature of the lie does matter, but it still is a lie. So And I'm, if I catch you in the lie, I'm gonna be looking at you with my side eye,
Right.
and
Mhm.
it's going to make me wonder, what else? Just like you said, it's putting thoughts and it's planting seeds of, well, what else
Mhm.
did you lie about? And even
Yeah.
if it is like a small lie, well, what was the point of you really even lying about something so
Exactly.
small? So it,
Mhm.
it, it makes you question things that you don't, because just like you said, what did you call it, Pastor? A one night? What did you call it? So like, you're 6 months in, so you're getting to know this person, you're gathering data, but it makes you
Mhm.
it makes you wonder, what else are you lying about? Especially even if
Mhm.
you're lying about something that's probably very insignificant.
Sure,
Mhm.
absolutely. Yeah, so I think honesty is very important, and I think that um, those are some of the initial things that one should look for in a
That's it.
any type of dating or courting type of relationship. Are you honest? Is it something that it just, and again, the nature of the lie also is very important. We talked about considering one's history. Uh, I made a statement, guys, about a woman's prime age and a man's prime age. And essentially, what I was saying was that a woman on the dating market is in her prime, in her probably at max in her mid 20s. And the reason that is because most women, if you think about it, and men, if they're looking for if it's a about a physical attraction, which for most men that's what it is initially. I tell people all the time, it starts with a physical attraction. It starts with seeing the person and saying, wow, that person is nice looking, that person is attractive. And then you develop a desire to want to get to know more about the person. And I feel like there's a healthy progression in relationship. um, attraction, desire to get to know the person, getting to know the person, even befriending the person,
Mhm.
and then to a point where you begin to trust this person and actually like the person and embrace them as a significant person in your life, where we call significant other, right? But the problem with many people is when they're not healed and they're not whole, they just want somebody, right? So they don't even know if they like this person,
Mhm.
but they just want somebody. And it's cuffing season now. It's cold outside. They want somebody wrapping up in the, sheets or covers or whatever it is that they're doing. They
Right.
somebody to hug, hold on and feel on and spoon. You know,
Right.
they got this
They
thing.
ready.
But you don't stop to see if you even like this person. Can you trust this person? While you spooning them and you think they sleep, are they gonna be taking your money and taking your credit cards? Some crazy like that, robbing you blind,
Right.
So in the dating market, a woman is at her prime. Anywhere between I said 18 to 25. And this is why I said that. Because at that age, you can eat whatever, you bounce back, you got your best shape, right? Ain't got no gray hair. Hopefully your hair ain't falling. Now, my nephew, he's 16. He sent me a text message of his new girlfriend, right? He's in high school. And even the little high school girl, just today, has a lace front wig, makeup. I'm like, son, looks like this girl she's in high school. She has a wig and a lace front, and she looks like an adult. She doesn't look like a kid, right? And so it's an interesting thing to see the dynamic and the climate of the dating world. Whereas, so a man values, I tell you guys, men usually value physical attraction, period, point blank, initially, right? A woman, I believe, values as she gets older,
Stability.
huh?
I was gonna say stability.
Stability. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is.
Okay.
Somebody put the, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I know what I'm talking about. Women value maturity, stability in every area, financially, relationally, they want stability. Um, and I mean financial stability, all of that, right? Everything in your life should be stable. and they value security. What else do women value? And now check this out. Let me help y'all. Finances, right? So financial stability. I see that in the comments. Financial stability, finances, where you live, all of that stuff, right? That's what women value. A real man don't really value like that. They don't need your money. They don't care about how much money you make. They don't. I mean, it ain't like if you have traditional values. Most men who have traditional values believe that men should pay the bills anyway, so they could care less how much money you make. I don't care if you make six figures because it ain't like it's gonna help. It's not. If they're doing what they're supposed to do, your money is not gonna spend as it relates to the structure of the house, because if a man unless he just ain't got nothing, right, and he looking for a quick come up, and he's a scrub or something like that, that's different. But we're talking about quality men, right? Usually when a man gets to that space in their life, they're around 35, right? When they're really financially stable, they're mature, they ain't chasing skirts. Hopefully they ain't chasing skirts no more. They're loyal, they're grown, they're mature at that point. Women mature a little bit faster. So, women at a certain age, when is it that women start having challenges with having kids? What is that, around 35, 40? What is that?
Statistically, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, statistically. And they become a little bit more high risk. So the older a woman gets, the more challenging it is for several reasons. It ain't just because you got some 40-year-old women who look better than these 25-year-olds, hands down. Bodies are better, their skin is better and everything, right? But they've been through more trauma. They lack trust. And the truth of the matter, I know people don't like old boy, I'm not going to call his name, who, he had a lot to say about women and putting it on the clearance rack and all this other stuff. Y'all know, But I think this is true. I don't think because a person is single that anything is wrong with them. But I do believe this. I believe that if someone is, say, 40, 30, 35 even, statistically, if you look at them and you say, okay, you've never been married, the world, socially, people assume something's wrong. Mm-hmm. They assume. I mean, it doesn't mean something's wrong, but people assume, like, okay, what was wrong with you that your exes, none of your exes married you, your baby daddy didn't marry you? Like, what's the problem? What's the issue? What is it that they saw that I'm missing? Or whatever the case may be, it raises a lot of questions. Mm-hmm. So that's what I was saying as it relates to prime age. A man is not prime in his early 20s. Because usually in their early 20s, they ain't got no money, they immature, ain't got no stability. Women don't value that. If you're still living at home with your mom, women ain't really valuing that like that. If you work in a basic job, and you a man, you can't really take care of a family, women don't value that much. If you're immature, you talking crazy, still chasing skirts, still going to the club, women don't value that like that. But as a man matures, I think women do value that. So I think a man's value, y'all tell me if y'all agree with this or not, even in the comments. A man's value increases as he grows and as he gets older, while men are chasing women from the time they in their teens. They slipping at women deep inboxes in their teens, and just because they're a beautiful woman. Women get validation just because, right? Men don't get validation like that. Men gotta build up, right? They gotta build up that confidence. Women can have a breakup and they can go into a bar and a man will offer them to buy them a drink or something crazy like that. Obviously, if we save, we ain't doing that, right? But a man you ain't gotta make women ain't having to have game and all this other stuff and talk to women and be charming and buy gifts and all this other stuff to get a man to sleep with her. On the other hand, men, they have to do a lot just to get a woman to give them the time of day.
Attention.
Women get attention all day long. Even if the man don't like them, they get an attention because they are a woman. And you got a bunch of men out here that just wanna smash, right?
You need slang.
True. No.
And am I,
We still say that.
No, you're talking good. Talking good.
Yeah, most definitely.
okay?
You're right on.
You're on point.
So they got on me about this. They say that I was wrong. A woman is in her prime in her 40s. No, financially maybe you are, but not on the dating market. Because okay, with all your money comes a whole lot of problems. Comes you being this boss chick, this diva, this mouthy woman that can't respect nobody, can't get on the pay on the same pay. One of the things I think went okay, so men value women who bring them peace. Okay, that's what I hear from most men. I want some peace. I don't want to have to fight every time I'm making a decision. I don't want to have to argue. I don't want to have to fight for her attention. That's why most men that are in high value class, they don't really care. They probably don't want their woman to work because they want to have access to you whenever they want access to you. They don't want to have to ask your boss for permission to spend time with you or go on vacation with you, right? So I think women and men value different things. So am I making sense about these prime ages? Would y'all agree? Or
Yes,
think I'm
I
kind of
would agree. I think
I would agree.
I would agree. I think what happened, maybe why some people found your comment offensive, maybe it wasn't clear that you were talking about necessarily. Well, no, we were talking about dating, but I mean, people sometimes don't necessarily like to necessarily hear the truth. But I think if you're going by statistics, and maybe that's not that part wasn't clear, but statistically, I think you're practically on point. You're on point.
oh,
And then even to add on to that, you're just gonna have some people that just will not agree to that.
Right.
That's I can't even say the word,
Statistic.
but yeah, that's that too. Everybody's not gonna agree. So,
Right. Everybody doesn't agree.
but
Period.
I agree
So,
with you.
okay. Hey, y'all in the comments, what y'all think? What y'all think? I want to know. I want to know. The other thing, so we talked about common value. Now I want to ask you guys this as a woman, because you heard my commentary. What are some things that you all value in a man?
Most number one, respect.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of men lack that respect. Respect can go a long way. Um, not only for your partner, but just for the relationship. Um, yeah, for not just for the partner, but for the relationship as well. There are boundaries that does not need to be crossed in that relationship. So I would say definitely my number one thing would be respect.
Now let me jump in there. When you say boundaries, what if a person is insecure? What
Don't even waste your time with me. Then you
not
got
with
to clear
me.
that up, huh?
No, I was agreeing not with me
Yeah,
because I'm a
yeah.
very those
If
who know
I'm
me, I'm a very
confident,
social person. I'm a
right?
very confident person, and so if you're
Exactly.
insecure, that our
You,
relationship is not gonna work
it's not gonna work
because
because
people,
then
yeah,
you're bringing your I'm confident in myself. I'm feeling good. I don't need you to bring that insecurity energy around me because you know that can, not to say it happened to me, it will happen to me, but it can jump on that person and start to that person start questioning themselves like, what's wrong with me? I don't want none of that.
so
Stay far away.
the reason I ask that is because a lot of times you'll have situations where men or women will say, "Hey, I don't want you going to that social. I don't want you going to that party. I don't want you going to." Some women don't even like they men talking to women at church or whatever the case may be because they're insecure. I think that there's a limit, like there's a healthy boundary.
Mhm.
There are
Yeah,
healthy boundaries. And then it becomes so you have to understand when there's a control or manipulative
yeah, right,
motive versus someone trying to be just concerned. Like,
right.
what do you think about? Okay, if you're married, do you go on women's trips, like girls' trips and stuff like that? What do you think about that?
Yes, godly trips. It wouldn't be those type of women that would influence me to do things that I don't surround myself with. Um, so I would definitely do godly women trips, because within that it can go a long way. You can learn new things. They can, just by conversation, you learn a lot to develop yourself to become better. I'm always open to be a better person. I'm always better to, open to just be my better self. And so, yeah, I think godly women trips will always be necessary. You know, not too much, but definitely it's needed.
Okay, I want to put this.
I think Pastor already know my answer.
Hold on, let me get this.
Oh,
So
now I can see the comments. Okay.
okay, so Aurelia said, I think she was responding to the question, "What do you value in men?" Now, granted, Aurelia is married, but she says as long as he loves God and makes God priority, I can work with it. Do you guys agree with that?
I agree. I agree to, yeah, I agree.
I do.
But yeah. But yeah.
Okay, y'all. Okay.
Well, that is like that's kind of like the prerequisite, right? So, and then we would have to right. It's all about gathering data, so that we would have to start there.
Right.
So to me, that would just automatically just be a given, and then then I'm gathering more data, but that's definitely a prerequisite.
That's definitely number one. Right. Right.
Okay, so let me do this. All right, I'm gonna paint a picture for y'all, and I want y'all to rate the guy. Okay, from 1 being the most unattractive qualities, 10 being the highest attractive qualities. So he has all of this that Aurelia says. He loves God. He makes God a priority, but he weighs 350 pounds, and he works at Chick-fil-A.
I will rate him. What's the highest number?
Hold on a second. 10 is the highest. That's the dime.
Okay, 10.
But as far as his looks, he's average. He's a 5. He's a 5. He loves God. He makes God a priority. But he weighs 350. He's 6 feet, so he probably carries it pretty well. But he works at Chick-fil-A.
I would rate him. I would rate him as a 7.
A 7, okay. So he gets points because he loves God, right?
You say he what?
So he actually gained points.
Yes, because loving God, putting God as a priority, loving God, that's number one. That's number one for me. 3, the weight. I look at the heart. I don't even go off of looks. I feel like if there's, if the conversation prolonged and if there's something that he's saying, I want to lose weight, I support, and help, do whatever necessary. But like
the conversation, he ain't said nothing about losing no weight now.
But no, I'm just saying.
We be trying to fix people.
He eats lunch, breakfast, lunch.
Yeah.
See, no, that's Pastor. He was talking about on the live last time. He was talking about that's not healthy. So I was coming from the healthiness.
see, watch this. This is what she doing. She on.
Kid, I done got him a whole new job because he ain't got to stay at Chick-fil-A. So we can switch jobs. He ain't got to stay there, and he can lose weight. I didn't lose. We can do that.
We're a team. We're gonna get it together.
We'll do this together. We're gonna build together.
Exactly.
Hold on. See, you know what? See, this is what a lot of church women do. They get caught up on potential versus problem.
Potential.
You're looking at the potential. Oh, we can talk about losing weight. We can talk about this man ain't trying to lose no weight.
Okay, and that's fine too. If he's confident, I'm loving it. If he's confident in him being 350 pounds, hey, if you're happy, I'm happy. So I wouldn't dare, bring that to his attention or try to convince him to lose weight. No, confidence is everything. If he's confident in himself, if you love it, I love it.
That's right. That's right, Sister Chanel Hudson. That's right.
I love that. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys another real quick. He's 6'6". He's got a 6-pack. He makes 6 figures. He's probably like a 7 in terms of his physical appearance, but he doesn't go to church. He's an atheist. What do you rate him?
0. Oh.
Yeah. I can't date anybody who doesn't believe in God. Like, you're flat out just saying he don't exist. So yeah, that's not gonna work.
That's
unequally yoked.
Can't, won't.
Like that's remember Aurelius. So what Aurelius' rule was the prerequisite. We can't.
Hey, y'all in the comments, y'all rate him too. Is it a 0? I see some people say 0.
Definitely 0.
Definitely a 0. He didn't even meet Aurelius' prerequisite. You got to meet that.
Okay.
Yeah, most definitely.
So say he does go to. He's not an atheist, but he just don't go to church. So he doesn't really have a relationship with God.
A 1.
Yeah.
A 1.
I was gonna say a 1, 1.5.
Okay. 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 I got you. So,
because we're single and saved, so like you want God to be you want God to be the center of your your relationship. So that's the prerequisite.
Because if you don't have right, if you don't have God, how can you treat me? How would you be able to treat me?
Because God gonna teach you how to treat me.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Let me give you another scenario, and I want y'all to rate them in the comments too, guys. Everybody, hit that like button. Hit the give us some hearts. Share this, and in the comments, I want you rating too. All right. The guy is a 6. He's just a little bit above average. You know, he's average, not athletic build, but he's just an average guy. Takes care of himself. He dressed well. He is about 5'10". He works for, say, AT&T. You know, he makes probably $40,000 a year, but he's a deacon in his church. And he's very active. His pastor has great things to say about him.
I would say it about 8 or 9. 8 or 9, yeah.
So he's a 6, but y'all will rank him to an 8 or 9.
Yeah, because
you said
he loves God.
He loves God. He's active in the church. He's confident. Like, he has a lot of the things that you mentioned. Right. You know, that men around his age, you know, have fulfilled. So, you know,
right.
If we need to work on the job, we can work on the
job. Right. But so he works for what I say, AT&T.
He works for AT&T. That's a good job. And then that's a good job.
40K is not horrible, right?
It's not. It's not. It's better than 0.
It's right.
Okay. So let me share. Okay, you got a guy. He's in church now. He loves the Lord. He's got swag. He ain't really involved like that, but he just show up at church. Attractive guy. Say he's an 8, right? 8. You know, but he has a body count of over 100.
Oh.
What do you rate him?
Go ahead, Clay.
You said he's not active in the church, but he goes to church.
Yeah, he goes to church. He shows up. He might sit in the back or something. Attractive guy, cool, takes care of his hygiene, everything like that. But you know, he got a pass.
There's a pass. A 4 or 5.
I will agree. Because
hold on.
Is he just going to church? Is he just going to church just to go? I mean, is he receiving something? Is he leaving with something?
Not active. He just kind of show up every other Sunday or something. You don't really know until you talk to him, right? Mm. So, but he's a high 8.
But he sounds like he might be the church player or something.
Looks are not everything.
Okay. Yes, we don't care really that much.
We don't. Yeah, like I said, I go by the heart. So I mean, I get it. Everybody have a preference. Everybody wants their guy to be handsome. I just don't go by that. I think it's important. It has to be some type of attraction to him. But
absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, 8 and not going to. It's certain things that you lack in will not make you look an 8.
Right. Deborah says she'll give him a 6.
Go ahead, Deborah. Girl.
So y'all saying 4 or 5?
Yes.
A 5, but I'll give him a 5 only because you said we won't really know until we really start talking to him, really his count, right? So off bat, we'll go about all the other things that you,
You know his count, but you don't really know why he coming to church because he ain't really active. He ain't really like, he's not available to God like that. He just show up from time to time, every other week or something like that.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep him at a 5.
A 5? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. It's all women on here. I don't see no men on here. What is going on?
See, that's my point.
All right. So you got a guy. He's 52. He's 52. He loves the Lord. He's handsome. He's not very active in church, but he loves God. He's maybe been divorced or something like that. He has a past, but he loves God, but he's very emotionally unavailable. He loves God. He makes good money. He's very stable. He's doing well for himself. His kids, if he has any, they're grown. And as far as his looks, he's a 8. Where do you rank him?
I would rank him a 5 because if you said emotionally detached, is that what you said?
Yeah,
available.
Yeah,
that's tough.
I need that. That's important as well. I need you to be able to express your emotions and just see where your head at, where your emotions. I mean, because everybody has emotions. I need to know where those emotions are and what are you feeling. I need to know that because I feel like that feeds off their actions from the emotions.
Sure. Okay. You got a guy, he is 30 years old, attractive, whatever your thought of the attractive is, and your eye, he's between an 8 and a 10. He comes to church. He owns a construction company, so he makes pretty good money. And he has 5 kids. Never been married, but he's got 5 kids. What do you rank him? So currently let's just say he's a 9. He's a 9. What do you rank him? I want to see y'all in the comments. What y'all rank this guy?
Okay, what you say? What? I would
the
say
5 kids is killing me.
I'm not gonna count him out because he got 5 kids. Though.
I'm not.
I'm
not.
30. He's 30, so the kids are.
Oh, whoa. Okay, See, I just had the 5 kids in my head. Not necessarily he was 30, so that was a lot of activity.
Yeah, he had a. Okay. He was a Rolling Stone.
Papa.
Pop, yeah. Rate him. And do we have a relationship with God? What did you?
Yeah. He's active in church.
He's active
with his 5 kids.
That's good. He's a good father.
I'll give him a 6.
I would just want to say 6. I would definitely give him a 6.
So you take him from a 9 to a 6?
Who said 9? You said 9 because of his looks. We were talking about overall, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
that's Pastor, you just made that sound so bad. You go from a 9 to a 6.
See, I had a 7. I had a 7 in my head until you said he's 30.
30. That's the part where I can't get. That's a struggle for me. But again, I gave him his props. It's good. He's a good father.
And he's active in church with all his kids. I'm gonna give him a 7.
Exactly.
I'm gonna say 7.
7?
7.
Kia, what did you say?
It's about that number. 7. I'll
7,
be
6,
yeah.
5, 4, what?
7, 6.5, 7. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good deal. Good deal. Good deal. All right. Okay. All right. I guess that also depends on, like, if you have 5 kids, then you might be more understanding to that. And
Yeah.
the other y'all got 10. Y'all good, right?
Twins might run in his
Why we
family.
might as well be
Might
a
be have
big
two
old
sets
happy
of
family.
twins, triplets.
Let's be a big family.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. That's some good stuff there. That's some good stuff. Uh, Online dating. I want to talk about that for a little bit. Online dating. Have you tried online dating?
I have
I have, unfortunately.
years ago. I mean, yeah, it's been years ago, and yes, I have that. I have.
Okay, so tell me, what are some of the pros and cons about online dating for a believer, for a Christian?
Um, the pros are there are some. Everybody is not a bad person on there. You do come across some nice, genuine people. The the cons about it is um some people that you might come across is not might not come across who they say they
Not who they
who they say are.
portray themselves to be.
Because if and this is just me speaking for my situation. On dating, I made it clear. I'm a woman of God. Um, Christian. You gotta have the same. We gotta be on the same path. And literally, men like, oh, okay. They literally jotting down what you like, and then betraying that to be that person that they really not. So they saying, oh, they really writing down, oh, she like God. I can act like I
I
love
like
God
that too.
too. You know. And then when you come across or y'all meet up and y'all dating, you start to see true colors, and when you can see that God is not in the center or in their lives like they claim it to be. So I would definitely say that's the cons of it.
Absolutely.
One of them.
Guys, we kind of touched a little bit on missed opportunities and unrealistic expectations. It sounds like the two of you guys are in a healthy place where you have realistic expectations.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's good. So I don't think there's a whole lot that we can dialogue about. But I think that was kind of what we were talking about when I was talking last week. And then we were talking about just unrealistic expectations. And people are looking for things that don't really exist.
Mm-hmm.
And not even taking into consideration who you are.
Absolutely.
So like when you look in the mirror, do you see this person who that you're asking God to
That
send,
you're looking for.
Right.
because you
Right.
tracked who you are, essentially.
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
yeah. Now I want to do something real quick. We'll start with Quaylen. Quaylen, as you've been saved, tell me about one of the most craziest, bizarre times where you went on a date or you started dating somebody and they just went left. Like, tell me whether it was a first date, whether it was over a course of time. Tell us real quick, like something that was just totally like, okay, God, I hear you. This is not you.
I'm thinking. So
So
go ahead.
then you can go. Well, you can think about it.
Oh, what did you say?
If Kia want to go and while you think, let's say,
Kim, you could go, and then I'll go.
Okay. You said so did we actually date or with the conversation on the dating app? So
either or
either
not on dating app, but somebody like maybe you went on a date with them, maybe it was a first date, or you were dating them for a little while and you was like, okay, God, this is definitely not it. Not necessarily on a dating app.
Okay.
Okay. Um, I would say there was a time where I actually went on the first date. The first date was actually cool. It was great conversation, great chemistry. I would say the more maybe for a month later, start trying to get me to get in the clubs, and I'm just like, whoa! I just told you I'm a woman of God. I don't do that type of thing. So it's just, and then I literally see him with a beer in his hand. So it was just like, what? So I mean, it might not be bizarre or crazy, but for me, that was a red flag because I'm like, if I'm telling you that I'm a woman of God, then let you have to be on the same page. Let's live that because if you don't see me drinking no beer, why are you bringing that beer around? That's a complete turn off to me.
Absolutely. Quaylin?
So actually, I was dating a guy last year, and I knew his family, so his family hooked us up. So he wasn't necessarily, I would say, maybe like a guy I would normally go for, but trying something different.
Why wasn't he a guy you would normally go for?
Because maybe his looks. He wasn't ugly, but he was like he was really quiet. Definitely, he was really, really quiet. He was a quiet guy. And I like to talk. I'm a communicator. That's how God has me wired. So for him to be very quiet, that was a number one adjustment. So I was like, okay, we could work with the quietness. Two, just upon like really talking to him, and like when we went our second date, like I realized he was over 30. He lived with his parents. So I was like, okay, well, maybe he's taking care of them.
We give him the benefit of the doubt, huh?
Right, the benefit of the doubt. But the guy was like, yeah, no. Cut it off. So the third thing was, he wasn't feeling well, and so he had asked me he was asking me if I could maybe like bring him some soup, and I am, of course, COVID was crazy, and it was a new thing. A lot of people really didn't know that much information about it. But the first thing they tell you about it, if you have a compromised immune system, not to really be around people, like that's sick. And I'm telling y'all, God told me that this man had COVID. He had COVID, and wanted me to come around him and bring him soup, and I just felt like that was irresponsible because he knew I had a compromised immune system. So that was it. That was a wrap. 3 strikes. He was out.
Well, you know.
Wow. Okay, interesting. So the red flag for you was seeing him with the beer bottle.
Yeah, portraying to be somebody that he wasn't, which he's saying he made it seem like he was a man of God and he was in church and all that, and that beer told me otherwise.
Well, did he ever cuss?
Not right off, but eventually, yes. Just certain things just started to unfold slowly but surely.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely.
If you're dating a guy and he cusses, is that a red flag to you?
Oh yes, because I don't cuss.
Quaylin?
If a guy cusses, is that a red flag to me? If it's like consistent. It depends, if he's one of the examples that you used. He might not originally like grew up in the church or whatever. So like, but if it's something, that's something that he's working on, like that's something like maybe we can work on. But not if it's like consistent and 100% part of his vocabulary.
Okay. What if he's on Instagram following a bunch of like Instagram models and liking and hearting their pictures and whatever they do on Instagram?
I personally find that odd. Now, I know a lot of people don't, and I know men, just like you said, men are visual creatures. But to me, if you're following a bunch of Instagram models really that don't care nothing about you, that's a sign of like lust to me. So it's an issue to me if you follow a bunch, like if you're following 100 people and 80 of them with Instagram models, that's a problem with me. That's a problem to me, and you have a problem that you might not know you got a problem, but you got a problem.
that will, for me, I agree, that will raise a red flag up if you have mostly Instagram models on your Instagram. That tells me that you like to fantasize on women, and it's a lust. Definitely that lust spirit. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Wow, that is interesting. Guys, we got like 5 minutes. Any questions in the comments y'all want to? As a matter of fact, this is what I'm going to do, y'all. I'm going to post a link in the comments right now. And you guys can, if you want to come live, if y'all want to come live with us and join this conversation, just hit that link. Hit that link right there. That is interesting, y'all. Let me see. I'm gonna try to pin this. Okay, I just pinned the comment. Hit that link, guys. That's on the bottom of Facebook, and I just put it in YouTube as well. And then you can come live from your phone or whatever. You can jump on with us real quick. I want to take a few moments and do this. Okay. Say he's a guy, but he has a whole lot of female friends. Like the majority of his friends are female. Does that change your viewpoint on him at all? Does that raise any red flags or?
Does he have any guy friends, or just is it like a mixture, or just like all women?
The majority will be women. Like probably 80% of his friends are women.
To me, it just depends on what the relationship is like, because I won't necessarily judge it as far as, he's a woman's man, or, when that insecurity kick in, we think, oh, he must slept with some of them, none of that, I'm in a place where I'm secure. So I wouldn't say that's a problem. As long as he's honest with me and saying actually these are just friends, never slept with them and all this stuff, I would be okay with that.
Okay. Now let me ask you guys this. And Deb just joined. Deb, make sure your camera is on, please. Let me ask you this. Say you got a guy, and this is a big one, and he's a cool guy. He's at least a solid 8. He's decent looking, nice looking, whatever, between 6 and 8. And he's in church. He loves God, but his mother controls him. Like his mother, he will drive. Like he hears his mother. If his mama tell him to do something, it's like, hey, everything stops. For his mom, whatever. Does that change the rating at all?
Oh yes, most absolutely. Definitely. For me, if I must be honest, I would definitely run far away.
Run,
because it says a lot. You don't even he doesn't even have to say anything. It says a lot right there.
Yes. Yeah, and let me say this. Deb is joining us. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Hi, Deb.
Let me ask y'all this. Do y'all think, Aurelia jumped in.
Hey, Aurelia.
Hello, y'all.
Look, she ready.
Ready, I can tell.
This is my kind of talk, babe. I done got up in the bed for this one.
Let me ask y'all this, because this is important. But some women, I've talked to certain women, and they're good people, like genuine good people, but their mother has total control over them. And so I think that goes for the man and the woman, because I'm gonna tell you, if your mother or your father has that much control and is able to dictate your life like that, you're not available. You ain't ready to be no wife or no husband.
Facts. I agree.
Period. Totally agree.
Turn off.
Completely.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so I think, what would we rate them, like a 0?
Yes.
Yeah. they might as well be with their mom.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
That's not,
and that's very unhealthy. That's unhealthy and strange.
Do you think that person can be maybe pulled away with maybe counseling or something like that? Because you never know, if they get counseling, they can see where the parent is being manipulative, because sometimes that's what happens. The mother is manipulating their child.
Absolutely.
So that they don't, not have that person. They don't have them around anymore, because that's who they use as their husband, because sometimes moms do that. Right. Sometimes moms do that with their sons.
Well, moms do it, and maybe like dads do it, but the only way I could see it, one, it's 100% manipulation, but also too that child would have to see and be aware, one, of what's really going on.
Right.
So
Right.
they would
Right.
have to be open to seeing that, and I think more times than not that they don't see, because one, too, it's like, so how do you come back years of your whole life of that parent running you
Yeah.
versus to when you meet this person, but that's just a couple years in. And I think that's always where the struggle or the clash will come in at,
And that's
because
why I say
that's
maybe
how they
with
look at it.
counseling. That's why I say maybe with counseling, someone on the outside can have them see
Deb,
what's
I don't think so. I think it depends on their age. So there's a number of things to factor in. Could it be that they're relying on their parents financially? Could it be that their parents are supporting them in other ways and they feel obligated to be controlled, manipulated by their parents? Or
right.
if their parents are just that good of a manipulator? Because I've watched people where their parents run their life. They don't have a life. They hop at their mother or their dad's beck and call.
Right.
And they really don't have any room for
anyone else
life, because their parents live their life through their children.
Yes.
So the mama divorced a handful of times, daddy done been
Yep.
so they live their life and they breathe their life through their child, and the child is just being manipulated. But I think after you get to a certain point and a certain age, there is no turning back, because you've built a codependency upon the. Well, I mean, I guess you could go to counseling, but at some point there's some codependency, because one of the things people fail to realize is that there are boundaries in any relationship. Your mama, your daddy, your husband, your wife.
Absolutely.
There has to be boundaries. Y'all shouldn't be around each other all the time. Mama shouldn't really have a key to your house like that, to be honest.
At all.
That's a boundary problem. Like
Right.
when showing up, that's a lack of boundaries and respect. Not unless
respect
lives there. So I would say that it just depends on the age.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I've been dealing with this for 35 years.
But what happens when the parents perish, or they pass away, and you just destitute, you just left out there, so they will need someone. I feel they're going to need someone, because that's going to be a major void for them.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a major void. I'm not saying lean on somebody else, but that's what real serious counseling will need to be taken in consideration, because they would be probably suicidal.
Their parents has lived their life for them.
Basically for them. And so I can see if that parent passed away, them being suicidal, because they almost feel like they don't know how to live by themselves.
Well,
they
don't know how to live, because their parents has ran their life, their
right.
entire life, and now that parent has perished, they don't know what to do.
And they may not be a bad person. So dating someone like that, it will take a mature person to come in and say, you know what, I think you need to maybe see someone, because you don't really see how much your parent is running your life. You can't really see how much this person is taking over your decision-making skills. And so I feel that someone may need to step up, because a friend won't do it. Their closest friend won't tell them that. They may not, but most likely it's going to be someone in close proximity that will be able to see that the parent is taking over their life so much that it could cause a problem if the parent was to die.
Absolutely.
So
let me jump into this real quick, since we got all y'all on. We're gonna have a party tonight. So Aurelia, what's on your heart? You jumped on. What's on your heart?
Well, I'm gonna be honest, y'all. I don't feel like love have no rules. Like, literally, I feel like things can happen, and it can be, y'all can sit over here all night long and say, y'all got a number, y'all got a preference, is this, is that. I used to be like that. I used to say, I'm never getting married. I'm gonna forever be outside. That mean outside mean in these streets, Pastor. That means I got him, I got a sugar daddy, I got a main, I got a side. That was me.
You was a city girl.
I was a city girl for real. I was the city girl. I was the one that
I love the honesty.
The girls couldn't go on no girls trip with me. They was gonna get into a fight. They was gonna come on the trip with a black eye, but they knew they boyfriends was like, "You not going with Aurelia. You're not going." So in my past, all I had, it was a lot of us. We the minimum was 15 of us, but we travel all over, enjoying life, college. You know, we came from high school together. We had a good. I lived a good life. So, Pastor, if I leave here before you and you have to preach my funeral, you tell them that Aurelia said she lived a good life. I enjoyed life to the fullest before I became saved. So I always said I never get married. I'm not no, no one person. I just went into it because I used to do the most. I've been with married men. I did a lot that I didn't know. I was young. And that's not an excuse, but I did what I saw, and I did what I came from a small town. So it's like when you come from a small town, as small as I was, you just did stuff that I would have never. I still cry and pray about it. I would have never did it had I knew what I knew now. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
So, and I'm not afraid to say it. Like I'm the type I voice. Like I'm not afraid of nothing. If it happens to me, molestation, all of that, I'm gonna voice it. It happened. I'm not afraid. I'm not ashamed to say it because my story could help somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Absolutely.
I voiced it. It happens, and a lot of that happens in the Black community. Women, they get molested, they get bribed by, married men, they get bribed by preachers, they get bribed by teachers, so this is what happens.
Yes.
And it breaks you. So if I'm doing this as a child, then you be like, I ain't never getting tied up into that because I done did, you done did stuff, and you just don't trust it no more. Like you really, like, you lose trust for everything. You feel like it's no life or no sense in trying to do what's right because it's no right out there. But that's a lie. It's right out there. And like I said in the comments, I fell in love with my husband. I used to always just drag him along. I had been with him for years, and I just dragged him along, but I always knew that I didn't love him. And I didn't love my husband until 5 years ago when we had our first child. I had already had a child in a previous relationship. So my 5 year old, I fell in love with my husband 5 years ago, and I've been with him for 16 years. And
wow.
we were together in a relationship, but we've only been married we've only been married for 4 years. So I fell in love with him, watching him raise our son, watching him be a father, just watching, the love that he had been showing me the whole time. But with this small mindset, it was like I was just, taking advantage of the person that he was. So I saw what type of father he was, had been engaged, like Pastor said, had been engaged for the longest. But in my mind, I'm still saying I'm single till I'm married. I'm just wearing this ring just because, it's just the thing to do, because in our town, don't nobody do right. They don't take this serious, it's a joke. But that's how I feel about it. I felt like my situation turned around. Pastor, when you said that about that job, that was my life for real. Like my husband came from something. He had to make a choice, and it was the streets, or it was, us being a family, coming to Georgia from Louisiana. And when he made that choice, he had to work with some Mexicans, and the Mexicans didn't speak no English at all. He was the only Black person there, and they had to call him Horky. That's for George, his name. But that's the only thing he understood, making the bare minimum in pay. And this was back in 2011, making the bare minimum in pay. But he had to make that choice to work, and he built himself up from that small job on up to a great position now. So
Right.
I've been there before. He had no work history and no real work history at all. So I've been there. So that man went from that to where we are now, and we've been through a lot, but I worked with it. As long as I knew that he loved God, and we would build on that, and everything else worked itself out. But
Right.
like I said, it wasn't no rules in it for me. Like I could have said
Right.
all day long, oh, I want a man with us, this and that. What we say we want, our preferences. But it didn't go like that for me. It didn't go like that
Right.
for me. Like I'd have never thought he would have been my husband
Mhm.
15 years ago.
Yeah.
And just to add on, it's not always about what we want. It's actually what we need.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What we need. And he
Yeah.
changed me for
Exactly.
the better. He changed me for the
Yes.
better. And
And
I
I
and
think
like
that
I'm the type of person, I admit my truths. Like
Right.
I will tell you what I've been through, and I'll say it in front of a crowd because it helped me. Like that helped me. That help. I don't. I'm the type of person, I want to break the silence and people thinking it's wrong to say what
Yes.
you've been through, because that's where your testimony come from.
comes
It comes
from.
Absolutely.
from
Right.
what
That's
you've
right.
Right.
actually been through.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
sometimes we don't really know what we want as women, especially young
Yes.
women and women who have
Yes.
not had a father kind of
Father, come on.
show us what to look for in a man. So we kind of
Hmm.
just go for what we like at the time. And that depends on how
Yeah.
we are, like Pastor said, where we are at the time. So you
Yeah.
Yeah.
may end up in a relationship with a guy who's not any good at all, but
Yeah.
Hmm.
you don't really know what you want until you get in that bad relationship and you say, you know what?
Yeah.
Oh,
This is not it.
that's not it. And then
Right.
next time you know better, this is more so what I want. So in the past, I would be okay with a guy not going to church as long as he at least said, I love God, I'm a Christian and stuff like that. You
Hmm.
look for the little
Hmm.
things. But now it's like, now that I've had that and that was bad for me, that went
Hmm.
south. Now it's
Hmm.
Yeah.
like I want someone who can actually lead me. I don't want to be
Right.
trying to drag somebody to church. Oh,
Right.
come to church with me this Sunday. I
Right.
don't want that.
I,
I want someone who's actually waking me up in the morning and saying, come on, let's go to church.
Right.
So
right.
it's like
Right.
your standards get a little higher as you kind of
Mhm.
date or go through the dating scene, or you get with someone. Because I've only been with in two serious relationships, and I married both guys. And it's like, because I felt like I didn't want to be like my mom. My mom was one of those
Right.
women who had 9 children, 6 different baby dads. I was like, I want to be like that. So when I did get pregnant, I went ahead and married the guy, thinking, I'm going to make this right some kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And
Yeah.
and then I realized down the road, this wasn't, I matured a lot faster than him. And I realized that was not for me. And
Hmm.
so with the second husband, I think I was just kind of emotionally distraught from losing the first one. And I kind of jumped in something quickly and didn't really look for those red flags because of what you decided you wanted. And I
Right.
think a lot of
Right.
women do that. Oh, I want this, I want that. And like you say, after a few months, they start showing their true colors.
Absolutely.
And at first everything is good. Everybody knows how to get to first base.
Oh, they
So
they they know.
they know how to get to
They
first
already
base.
they're studying you. They're
Yeah,
they're
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 studying you.
telling
So
Right.
they're coming to
exactly.
church with you. They're
Eh,
doing all these things. And then you get married, or you ignore the red flag. And then you end up married a year down the road and you realize this was the worst mistake I could have ever made. And
Right.
now it's like my mind is saying, okay, let me sit back and take my time. Let me just
mhm.
kind of, get to know me as a woman first. See what I want
Exactly.
in a man. Because I actually made a list and I kept the list on the refrigerator for a long time. Like, number one, he needs to have godly values and he needs to be
Hmm.
very visible, you know.
Mhm.
Hmm.
And then two, be smart and the other things that I like. But having godliness is the key. Because if
is.
you love God, I'm not saying there's not good men out there who don't love God, but they're very easily to be manipulated and go off track.
Mhm.
When you don't have that foundation with God in it, you can go off track very easily. You slip into drinking, slip into drugging, slip into going out with your friends a few times too many. And then next thing you know, they're talking to some woman, you know? So I feel that God having that foundation, because, you know, godly men can make mistakes too. But if you
Right.
have a foundation to work with God in it,
Right.
You can
I
get
think
through it.
that makes for at least someone you can find as see as credible, somebody who you can give a chance or go on a date with.
Right.
Right.
Because
Right. Right.
if they got the godliness, at least they'll be um in repentance or trying to do better next time. You know what I'm saying? Because as women, we make our mistakes.
Right.
Exactly.
We're not going to always get it right, but at least you know that guy is going to feel some type of way, like Pastor say, I got to look in the mirror. At least they're going to look in the mirror and say, you know, I didn't do the right thing. I know I made a mistake. And then
It
them
Right.
starts
going
with
back to God.
accountability.
Right. And
Yeah.
having accountability. And
Yeah.
that's what I think us women, we really need to look for, a guy
Oh
who
yes.
takes accountability for the past they've had, for the mistakes they make, and also try to make some changes.
Mhm.
And not just saying, you know, we're not perfect. I don't like that excuse. I don't like that excuse that we're not perfect, because that's only an excuse. God
Mhm.
say, be perfect as I am perfect.
Guys,
So
let me jump in here and ask you guys this.
go ahead.
What point should a person not be considering dating? At what point should dating not even be on a person's radar?
When you have been in a couple of relationships and they've all failed,
Okay.
maybe you should consider just getting to know you as a woman first. Because, like you said, it's really good to go to counseling, because maybe you won't see something that another person who is educated in that field would see, you know, and you may not think this is how this affected me, but you won't know that until you done got into a relationship with someone, and now it's coming out. Now it's coming out and it's showing up in that relationship. But if you
Do you
would have
think
went,
do you think that if a woman just recently had a child, do you think she's in a position to date?
I don't, because a lot of times we be so attached to that guy who we just had a child from, that it could be an attachment there with that guy,
I ain't
somewhat
have
of an
no.
attachment.
I ain't Miss Deb. I'm sorry. I ain't have no feelings. I ain't. It was whatever with me. Like for real. I ain't. It wasn't no attachment. I mean, it was attachment when the child was made. That was it. But other than that, like I feel like you date. I feel like you date until something happen. Like you pray until something happen. You date until something happens. No, y'all don't listen to me. But for
Please
real,
don't.
you don't never put. You don't never.
Don't listen to my sister. Please
Let
don't
me
listen.
tell y'all. I ain't never been single. Never been single. I don't know what it feel like to be single. And when I was single, I still wasn't single because I was with
Right.
my husband. So I just feel like I didn't had the best of above worlds as far as dating. Like I've had that guy that was he was the deacon of the church, and he had the finances. He had everybody thought this just was the perfect man. And I just did not want that man, and I knew I didn't want him. And I told my family, I was like, I gotta let this man go. I don't want this man. And
Why?
when
Hold
you
on, wait a
do
minute.
things,
Hold on. You the deacon, you didn't want him,
no, no,
but he wanted
no.
you.
We were together, but I did it out of spite. I'm telling you, I was young and I did it for the wrong reason, just because somebody was picking at you or something. So I did it for the
Right.
wrong reason.
Who was
Did it for,
picking?
Brittany
Antonio
said
Bass.
he
She
was a
said who
deacon.
was a
She know
deacon.
exactly who he was.
Brittany
Antonio
got a
Bass.
question, Aurelia.
It was Antonio Bass. He was the deacon. And he
She
still
said
is.
that was
He's a offshore supervisor, and Brittany knows. And
Aurelia. Stop. Time out. Flag on the play.
No.
What
wanna
happened? Y'all
say
see my husband ain't on here.
And let me guess, this was a Baptist church, right?
You know it. You know it. It was a Baptist church, and yes,
Oh,
exactly.
God.
But no, I was with him before I was with my husband. So
Mhm.
we, I tell this, I'm telling y'all, I'm an open book. I
Yeah,
don't keep no secrets. So
that's a
yes,
good
so this
thing.
actually happened,
Awesome.
How
and
old is the baby though? How old is the baby? Like 6 months though?
6 months.
Um,
My
no, like
daughter,
no. Pastor asked a question. Just having a newborn.
Well, he
How
said
you
just
mean?
having, so it's probably a newborn. To answer that, personally, I would think no.
No,
I,
because you're
I
so
would think I don't
emotional
think
after you have a baby. You
yeah,
for
got
you
all
for
these
emotional after you have
emotions.
a baby, and then too, even let's say if you're not even necessarily attached emotion to the man, I think that's a
Right.
time that you should maybe take to really bond with your child and focus on the
Child,
child and
right.
focus
And
on
right,
not
building
really
together.
right, right.
look
That's what I
for
think
a
is very
guy.
important. That essentially is what needs to be your focus, not
Yes.
dating.
Right. I agree
Right,
with that.
right.
I agree with that.
Okay, guys, let me jump in real quick because my phone getting ready to die.
Uh-oh.
And I
Go get
want
your charger. Y'all go get Pastor a charger.
I
Really
I
want to
start,
talk all night. Really, we got no.
let me I'm gonna share some thoughts with you guys, and I want you to tell me whether you agree with them or not. Women are never truly single. Is that true or false?
That's true.
Well, I don't think that's true because um I have made it to where I won't accept numbers. I won't give anybody any attention. And I have found that to be one of my most like vibrant times of my life because I I take all that time just for me or for my children.
Okay. Real quick.
Oh, that's
Mm.
understandable.
I would say. Oh, who did you say? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, I would say women maybe truly always have the option to really be single or not. Because just like you were talking about in church, as far as options, I feel like
Right.
just like you said, women always we always get attention, whatever. So I think we truly always have the option. Like if I wanted to be in an unhealthy, ungodly relationship 5 minutes ago, I could be, but that's not what I truly
Right.
desire. So
Let me
that's how I would word it.
let me ask you this. I have to agree with Aurelia on this one. I don't think
Okay.
are ever truly single, and this is why. Deb, do you talk to any of your baby daddies? Do y'all exchange? Do y'all or like ex-husbands, ex-friends? Is there any man in your life that you exchange emotional energy with?
No.
So who do you vent
No,
to?
not at all. Huh?
Who do you vent to? Yep, like you don't
I
have a
don't
guy friend.
I don't have any guy friends. I have a lot of guys try to talk to me, but I don't have anybody that I talk to, I vent to. I don't have anybody that texts my phone. I like it dry. I like it dry right now.
Yeah, I feel
Because
you.
I think it's
Oh, wait,
because
wait. That
I'm serious. Like
wait a minute. Is that recent or is that something that you've done for the last year or two?
for the past um 6 months.
So over the last 6 months, you have not had any real encounters with any guys emotionally.
No, emotionally, no.
Okay, Quaylen, what about you?
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I have. I've had
I
emotion. I
fig-
exchanged emotional energy.
Of
I
course,
have.
Mm.
of course you have. Kia,
I would say I have, yeah.
of course you have. So let me say this. Now, I don't think Deb is just telling us. Most women, I'm
I'm
surprised.
serious.
No, we believe you. It's just not
We
a
Um,
lot of
believe
people
you.
like you. But
It's
it's
only
Yeah,
okay. I
because
yeah.
mean,
this is why only because guys, I out of high school, I got married to my high school sweetheart. And for 10 years I was with him and then I got married a year and a half later to my next guy ex-husband. And that lasted up until about a couple of years ago, maybe 2 years ago. And so I haven't really and after we separated, I still only was with him. So now it's like I just want to do Deb. I have not done Deb since
yeah.
18 years old.
Baby, you ain't enjoy your youth.
Exactly. I was a
Oh,
wife
really?
early.
Okay,
So that's why
sense.
I
You're in a
found
different
this to
space.
be
That makes sense. That makes sense.
exactly.
Yeah.
My next
Yeah, it
question:
does.
who lies more, women or men?
Both of them. We both lie. We lie with purpose.
Okay.
I would say
lie.
men lie more. I would feel
But
like men lie more.
hold on. Who lies more though?
Mm,
A
I
woman
can't
is
say.
very deceiving. Women
Yes,
know
we
how
can.
to lie and not lie, if that makes sense. We know how
Right.
to lie with
We know
purpose.
how to be
I'm gonna just say
quiet
that.
and let you insinuate.
Exactly. So when you go on thinking something, then we don't never tell the truth.
Change it. I can't say because a lot of men lie as well, but a lot of women lie. So I think it's kind of like it depends on who you are. Now,
Quay,
Let me
personally,
say,
I don't like lying. I like being like Aurelia. I like being an open book about me.
I agree.
So I feel
I
like I
but
agree.
can't get to know a liar, and a liar can't,
people
huh?
tell people what they think they want to hear. So that,
Right,
I mean, they just say what they think you want to hear.
right. And I say I can't get to know a liar. And if I'm a liar, you never will get to know me.
Yeah.
So I
so
don't know.
Quaylen, because I'm looking for an answer here. Quaylen,
Men.
you okay? Oh, wait a minute. You think men lie more?
Absolutely.
Anybody agree with her on that?
I don't know. It depends on the situation. We'll have to have a conversation,
That's
and
true. So
I
this
can tell from that. Like you
because
gotta tell me if you gotta give me. You gotta run a.
She broke up.
she froze.
She froze.
Mhm.
I do honestly, Pastor, I do agree with Kayla because
You agree with you agree with Quaylen?
yeah.
Because women, we're really looking for something a lot of times. And so we will tend to put our heart out there on the line a little bit quicker. And that goes along with telling the man the truth.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so men would hold back a little bit more or just not expose themselves. So I could see why she would say a man will lie more, because that's what I noticed too. Men tend to hold back and just
Right.
not
And we've been told
disclose.
everything, and then
And we've been and told you everything, and you know who we are, how we are, and the man, they just will let you run into it. You
How?
know?
I think people start off lying. I think they ask, how old are you? You start off lying. I'm just telling the truth.
yeah,
I mean,
that's
come on,
your truth.
we can role play. Hey, how you doing, Miss? Hey, how you doing, Deb? Are you married? Are you single? You gonna say, kind of separated, right? You know what I'm saying? But have you got
Right.
those divorce papers? Have you signed those papers?
Right.
So everybody start off lying, Pastor.
Right.
All right. So let me help y'all out.
Don't listen
Let
to
me help y'all out. I'm gonna show you right here. You say men
Come
lie
on.
more. Quaylen, is that your hair?
Yeah, but I bought it. It's my hair. I paid good money for this hair. I paid good money to get a color. This is mine. You always be coming for hair all the time. This is mine. I'm naturally blonde. Absolutely.
Say period, Quayla.
No. So is your hair blonde?
You said who? Me?
Is your
Yeah.
hair blonde?
Yeah, that's my hair. I'm naturally blonde.
So let me ask you this. Aurelia, did you buy that hair or were you born with that hair?
I bought it. It's the Pat Cat too.
It's good. It look pretty. It
Did
look
you buy
good.
the hair or were you born with it?
I bought this.
What about you?
No, I bought it. I wasn't born with these.
So those are all lies.
No, they're not.
This is not a lie.
It's not a
It's
lie.
just,
Not my hair.
this is me not really feel like doing my natural hair because it's so
No.
thick.
Watch this. Watch this. That my real hair is up underneath here. It ain't a lie. It's okay.
Every time you put on somebody else's hair, every time you put somebody else's face, makeup, every time you put on your Spanx, every time women put on,
They got men Spanx, Pastor.
listen, them push bras, them Brazilian butt lifts, looking like the letter P. You know, It's all, it's all, it's a lie.
So crazy.
Your mouth.
Now I agree.
right,
I agree with
Pastor.
that. I agree with that because
agree,
when
Pastor.
you
That's a lie. That I agree. That's why I say it go both ways. Now I can name some stuff.
But I'm saying, thank you, Aurelia. It's a lie. You lied.
No, but wait, but no, Pastor, you ain't hear what she said at the end. Say that, Aurelia.
I ain't gonna be disrespectful to my Pastor.
I'm gonna say it, and it's not disrespect. When she said men be lying too, she named some stuff that men lie about too. Cause y'all got them fake lace fronts. You always want to come for our wigs, but they be having them men lace fronts. They got the
yes,
spray
they
that they
do.
spray.
They do
got
hair
the
spray. Yes, they
Pastor,
do. The
I'm
black
saying.
spray on the edges. Yes,
on
they
the
do.
What Beijing? They lie about their beard. They receded. Don't.
Ain't it, Pastor? You better not be dripping no black hair spray.
And your hair ain't no jet black at no 45 either, sir. I'm just saying. So we in this together. So yeah, okay. I'm a Aurelia telling the truth. But both people be lying.
Right.
Yeah.
But let me say this, y'all. First of all, there is no lace fronts for men.
Yes, there is.
Yes,
I'm gonna send you
is.
some links.
Yes, it is.
Spray and the spray.
No, Pastor, it's a wig. I'm gonna send it to you.
It's wigs out
For real,
there.
I
Yes,
won't
it
lie to you.
It's for
is.
bald
It is.
men, Pastor.
Okay,
LeBron,
I've
but
seen
no,
it.
LeBron don't have them.
Those men don't wear those.
They put the glue on it and then they sit it on top of their head. Oh, for
And they
years, I
cut
got
it.
somebody who did Steve Harvey. Steve
And they
Harvey is
cut it
the
and
original model
everything.
of the man's lace front. That's what he used to have. Now he's rocking his baldy, but he
Right.
used to have a lace front.
Yeah.
LeBron didn't never do it. LeBron did something with the hair. He probably did the
He
spray.
did because it's starting to grow back in.
It's a surgery
And
that
you
a
can
lot of
do
them
a
now.
transplant
It's a
that you
surgery
take
now
the
that a
hair
lot of
from
them
the
are
back
getting
and you
that.
put it in the front.
Yeah, they'll take their hair from like their arm, their underarm, and then it will start growing naturally.
Right. It'll grow
But
back.
that could be considered a lie because their hairline was receding.
Yes.
Before.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean,
They have actual ways.
as far as people like, I mean, Black women, we've gotten so used to not wearing our natural hair all the time, but we're getting back to it. You know, I like the fact that a lot of us are getting back to wearing our natural hair. See, these type of hairstyles and the braids and stuff, these are protective hairstyles.
Yes.
These are called protective styles, and we wear those because one, we don't want we may not be good at doing our natural hair because we're so used to perms, and a lot of us are transitioning. So that's why you will see certain type of hairstyles on Black women, because when they take this off, you will see their natural hair.
Pastor, you right, because I'm telling y'all, like for real, I know people, and this ain't knocking nobody, because I'm the biggest I ever been. If Pastor and my husband and Pastor didn't talk about laying on that table so hard, I'd have been when got this stomach cut off. But it's something, Pastor. I had 4 children. I don't want to go to the gym every day. I need this stomach off. But I ain't gonna get it cut off. I'm gonna eat right and I'm gonna try the gym. But just not.
You can try lime and water. Lime and water is real good. Let the lime soak in the water overnight. Let it ferment a little bit. Put a little honey in it so it's not so bitter, and drink it before you eat anything that day. You're gonna notice a difference in your stomach. I have really
you will go down.
Studied a lot of things.
Too. Not just women. You be on them women about them surgeries. Men have
men get liposuction.
Yeah, they get it all.
A lot of men. But even too, like to piggyback off what Deb was saying, like I wear my hair or whatever. But another reason why I do it is like I don't know, everybody might not know, but I used to be a lot bigger. So me having this hairstyle allows me to go to the gym, and I don't have to worry about having
your
to fix
hair
my hair
sweating. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Pastor, you got to ask first, why do the woman might wear their hair? Just don't judge the book by its cover.
He wasn't judging. He was making a point about lying.
I'm just playing.
A better job at lying. And not only that, but women do a lot of lying, right? They lie about a lot of things.
Right.
It's a whole lot of stuff.
But we lie with purpose. Go ahead.
Trying to protect you.
No, kid. What was we talking about earlier? The intent of the lie,
Right.
the severity of the lie.
Okay.
Okay, all right. But you know what? I love the point that Aurelia made about love has no rules, because I would have to agree. Most of the time,
Right.
we have in our mind what the ideal person looks like, or what their, what their profile looks like. But when
Right.
you fall in love, you fall in love.
That's
Period.
it.
That's true.
Exactly.
And
That's
I
it's
would
it.
agree.
seldom the person that you profiled and you said,
Yeah.
hey, I'm going to be this kind of guy with this kind of career and this kind of skin and these kind of muscles. It's never the person you thought it would be.
No.
Right.
Mhm.
That's where we talk about those missed opportunities. People miss out on their opportunities because they so caught up in trying to make this picture perfect person.
Build a
Yeah.
man. They trying to build a man.
Yeah. And it don't
Like the build a bear workshop.
it don't work like that. So
It don't.
this has been a good conversation. I want to take a moment. Is there anything? Hey, I'm gonna give y'all 30 seconds. What would you say to single people, I guess, especially those who are married and have been married? You got to take 30 seconds and let it be your last statement before we jump off.
Okay.
We'll
Want to go first?
then we'll go to Aurelia, to Kia, and then back to Quaylin.
Okay. I would say get to know yourself first, because then you'll kind of know what it is that you will stand for and what you don't want to deal with. So get to know you first. Make sure that if you're looking for a husband, make sure you're a wife. Make sure you're able to be what you're looking for, because you're going to have to give and take in a relationship. So get to know who you are as a person. Know your points, the things you don't like, the things you can't stand. So that way when you do go into something, you won't mind being honest about who you really are. And you won't have to hide anything, because you have become comfortable with who you are, and you can be comfortable enough to tell them who you are.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's what I would say.
I would definitely piggyback off what she said. Just to add on is to fall in love with yourself first. Your
Yes.
happiness comes from you. And when that man comes into your life, he enhances that happiness. So
Right.
fall in love with yourself first,
Amen.
and heal, and then so that way you can give your all once that man comes
Amen.
into your life. Yeah.
And you won't be pulling and sucking on them, sucking them dry because they didn't tell you you was cute today, or they didn't tell you they loved you today,
Oh yeah.
and you
Most
just
definitely.
pulling and constantly pulling. That's very draining.
Right. Most definitely.
I agree, Deb. I would also add to that, follow your heart, live life, pray about it. Don't be so quick to judge people. Like, give people a chance. Addictions or bad habits, I'm pretty sure everybody got something. For example, I had an addiction, and my addiction was gambling. Like, 1 minute I was up, and then the next minute I can go and I can be down. And I would love, and I ain't talking about casino gambling. I'm talking about some playing cards. This back home now. This was Louisiana. This was years ago.
Okay.
But don't be so quick to judge, because I was a gambler and I was addicted. And 1 minute I can go hit for 10,000. Next minute I could be down 10,000. And it was addiction. My husband was my boyfriend at the time, or fiance, and he never gave up on me. He believed in me. He would not give up on me when everybody else was judging. He was just like,
Right.
no, you're better than that. I'm going to stick with you, and be willing to stick with somebody when they go through something, because like I say, everybody got
Right.
something that someone else can help them get past. So just because
Absolutely.
they might be weak in some areas, be willing to give them a try in other areas, unless God tells you different. And like Pastor always says, before God gives it to you, before God gives it to him, he'll give it to you, and he just comes back and confirm it. So be willing to have an open door for for chances. Don't be so quick to say, oh, he did this, or Quaylon, he look nerdy, he ain't my type, I don't want him. Like, you got to give people a chance, girl. You can fix that man up. He can go from that Bobby Brown looking person to that good looking man, So be
Urkel
willing
to
to give it a
girl,
try.
from Urkel to Stephon.
That's it right there, baby. That's it.
Yep.
To piggyback off what everyone else said, I would say definitely be open-minded. Just like you said, as far as types, to me, all that kind of goes out the window. More importantly, be whole. Know who you are, and also more importantly, whose you are. And then I would also say, don't necessarily focus on the fact that you're single. Just focus on you. Confidence, love yourself, because really when you work on yourself, that's attractive anyway. So that's where I would end with.
Hey, Quaylon, you said types go out of the window. What do you mean by that?
Because I used to love chocolate men. Like, that was my thing. Like, back when I was in high school, I used to date a lot of dark skinned guys. But
Right.
if somebody light skinned, no one date me, I ain't gonna be like, nah, you ain't dark skinned. You know,
So
too
like
light for me,
physical
bro.
appearances.
I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna give him a chance.
Right. Physical appearances.
That's right.
You on them date naps, that's all you looking for. You're a quote unquote type, right? If they ain't chocolate,
Right.
is it left or right when you don't?
I don't like them date naps. I don't like them.
What is it? What is it? Left or right when you don't like them?
I don't even know. Because I used to be getting.
But
I think it's left you don't like out of.
And you could be swiping off of the person that
right.
could be soulmate.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah. Right. He could be a red bone.
Why you gotta be open?
Y'all gotta go ahead and just do it, and just know that you covered by the blood. Let me see y'all wristband. Y'all
most importantly, what
her bracelet.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
That's it.
Okay.
Oh, I feel bad. I don't have mine, but I don't wear it to bed. I don't wear it to bed.
But I do also want to add on as well, guys, is to also seek God, because once you seek God, I'm telling you, it's the most wonderful feeling, and it's like you just fall in love not only with yourself but with God.
Yes.
And
that's it.
It's
Yes.
a big bonus. It's a big thing. And so, yes, seek God with everything.
Yes, absolutely.
Most importantly, that first.
Yeah, that's like we said. That's the what you said in the comments a while ago. Like, to me, that's the prerequisite. Like, you definitely gotta have, and not just like a true relationship with God. And then he's gonna tell you how to treat me.
Yes, exactly.
Because if he don't know God, it's hard to deal with people that don't. If they don't know
it
God,
is. Oh my
God, people
God,
crazy. Okay.
Oh my God.
They be talking crazy, thinking crazy. You be like, "What are you talking about, sir?" No.
Oh my God, y'all so
Hey, well,
right.
I love you, girl. Your realness is amazing.
Baby, real,
funny.
Real. You don't see that OR.
You got it honest.
Real,
you gotta
baby.
be. You got to be.
Hey, y'all.
I get that from my pastor.
You was like that before.
Next week we're gonna come back on Mondays at 10.
Okay.
So looking for co-hosts like y'all. Will y'all send me an inbox if y'all willing to join and participate in our conversation next week? I want to help, because this could be our gateway to our catalyst to starting our singles ministry at the church. So nobody knew we were going to do this. A couple of y'all I reached out to at the last minute and was like, join me or whatever. So next Monday at 10, and then I'll just send you all the link so that you guys can join me on next week. If you guys are watching and you want to join, married or single, if you have something to add to this conversation, I'd like to invite you to join us next week at 10 p.m. Eastern time, and then just invite some people to join us. I'll probably promote it a little bit this time. I just wanted to do a quick test run and see how it goes, and we'll see y'all next week.
Okay. Thank you, Pastor. This was good. I like it.
This was great.
Yes, that's definitely.
All right.
Y'all have a good night.
All right, good
You
night.
too, y'all. Bye.
I'm getting ready. This is what I'm gonna do, y'all. I'm gonna take a moment and pray for the singles real quick. I'm gonna take a moment and pray for the singles real quick. Let's take a moment. We'll pray for the singles, and not only singles, we'll also pray for marriages. Let's take a moment to pray. Father, I thank you and I praise you tonight for every person under the sound of my voice. God, I thank you for your wisdom, and I thank you, Father, for teaching us how to first love you, teaching us how to love ourselves, God, teaching us how to become whole, teaching us how to be the man and or woman that you called for us to be. Father, I thank you, Lord Jesus, for bringing divine connections into the lives of your people. Father, I pray for every single person under the sound of my voice today, God, that you will give them the wisdom, the positive self-concept, the self-esteem, God, that they'll need to first love you and love themselves, that they may be whole and they may present themselves whole in any relationship that they open themselves up to. Father, we thank you today for the grace that you put up on every person under the sound of my voice, God. I thank you that you're giving them grace to be that wife or to be that husband, God, to date with intention, Father God, to realize and recognize red flags, God, to be able to cut situations off that mean them no good. Father, I pray for them today, God, and I pray your perfect will be done in their life. In Jesus' name, somebody say amen, 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 amen. All right, guys, listen, I'll be back on the MPE in the morning. I've been off, but I'll be back in the morning, and I'll see you guys then. And, of course, next Monday, we'll be right here for another conversation. Take care, guys. Have a good night.